Hello, I'm Nicholas Wallwork from Property Forum. I'm also the CEO of Red Brick, a property development firm based in the southeast of England. I just wanted to do a quick video just to touch on the Prime Minister's announcements yesterday on the 30th of June regarding his Build programme, which was some of the best news we've heard come out in the press as property investors in the last few months. Now, what it touched upon primarily was obviously talking about recovery, investing a huge amount of money. I think it was 5 billion was quoted into infrastructure projects and roads and schools and this kind of stuff. But most importantly for property investors, it touched upon the ability under permitted development to convert older commercial buildings into residential buildings. So that will be things like offices. It also touched upon, interestingly, newly vacant shops. So that's something that's obviously come out of coronavirus, where there might be a major effect on the high street and potentially decimated in a number of areas. And it's going to allow more flexibility for developers under permitted development, which is a relaxed set of planning rules. You still will have to apply for a form of planning under something called a prior notification application, and that's a reduced planning application in essence. There's no Section 106 payments, there's no extra sort of SIL payments towards infrastructure and other things that you have to do as part of a full planning application. So there's been permitted development rights in place for a few years now, namely around B1 offices, slightly more recently B1C light industrial units up to 500 square metres. And there's other various PD rights obviously that have been relaxed over the last few years, sort of extending your home and single storey dwellings, not going up to 50% of the size of your home. Certain conservatories and outbuildings are all permitted, but more specifically to property investment, the office to residential conversion is a huge market where we as Red Brick operate. We work with private investors and give them a fixed rate of return along with our own capital, and we go and invest in these buildings and do these conversions and create really high yielding asset blocks out of them. So this news is extremely exciting. It's what I've been saying all through COVID. I think there'll be some great opportunities for property investors coming along. This announcement is the first sign and promise, if you will, from the government that there's going to be significant infrastructure and loosening of the planning rules to allow these buildings to be put back into use. And us as property developers and investors will, relish that. And ultimately, that's the opportunity that we've been talking about. More stock on the market, more opportunities to develop good quality, reasonably priced stock that we can go and convert into residential and give much needed homes throughout the UK. So it's a double whammy, fantastic news. Let's hope it ripples through to the local authority level. Now, traditionally, planning has been held up a bit more at the local authority level. They can use certain things to restrict the permitted development rights. Obviously, anything in an Article 4 direction area, that's where there's a removal of the PD rights. Obviously, you'd still need full planning act for those kind of areas. And they can cancel or not allow the prior notification on a number of grounds for these office to resi conversions. Things like acoustics, highways, contamination, flooding. Those are the four things that they can usually refuse a prior notification application on. Although it's rare and it'd have to be in more of an extreme circumstance. Putting 200 units on an area where there's no parking, for example, and that council already had problems with parking. That might be a scenario where the highways element might get refused. But all in all, it's an extremely good sign. And looking through the kind of things that are out here, it's saying a wider range of commercial buildings will be allowed to change to residential use, won't need the normal planning application. So it's just an extension of these PD rules, really. It also touches upon the ability to build additional space above the properties via a fast track approval process subject to neighbour consultation. So there's still going to be that element of neighbour consultation, which there isn't in permitted development rights via prior application at the moment. So it's bringing in a little bit of the planning process there in terms of the consultation process, but potentially you can go and add extra floors. Now, that's been talked about in the office residential market for some time coming in, and this looks like, again, really clearly talked about. Looks like that's going to come in at some point. So exciting times ahead. If you're looking to invest in property, give me a shout. I do mentor clients and I can help you get in and learn about office to residential conversions, HMOs, all that kind of thing. But also if you're an investor looking to invest in the property market now, there couldn't be a better time. We offer, double-digit returns, fantastic returns working with private investors. If you're looking to do a completely hands-off investment and partner effectively JV with a developer like us, will go and use your money and make money with it and create a win-win relationship. So exciting news all round with that announcement yesterday, and excited to get on with the rest of 2020 and 21 and beyond.